All right. Hello, hello. I hope that everyone can see me. Hey, Cynthia. Good to see you. Welcome to Thought for Thursday. We've been talking about this all week, huh? I'll give it just a few more minutes to see if anybody is coming in with us. I'm trying to get cute here, guys. I'm actually on StreamYard. Ha ha. Hey, Cynthia. I'm trying to maneuver to see if I can actually work this. And so far, so good. I believe I enjoy it. I'm hoping this means that I'll be able to actually see some feedback from people. I don't know what I've been doing on Facebook, but I know here on StreamYard we can actually see some feedback. So, anyway, I hope that we're all doing good this evening. Hey, it's Thursday. We're almost there, just about at Friday. I don't know about you, but I'm happy that it's Thursday. I'm always happy by the time I get on here because I know that we've got one more day and then the weekend's coming. And that's usually, if you're like me, you're busy on the weekends too, but at least it's stuff that you want to do. You know what I mean? It's stuff that you want to do. So, all this week, I've been talking about a survey that basically was done amongst 3,000 people, and it showed that 96% of the 3,000 people surveyed were really moving about life mindlessly, really on autopilot. And that says a lot. I think it speaks to a number of different things. One thing that it speaks to is the fact that, we're in the middle of a pandemic. We've been in a pandemic for a long time. And after a while, all of the things that go along with this horrible virus really just starts to weigh on you. You get tired of being in the house. You get really, really worn down by hearing about the number of people who've been affected by it. You get worn out just thinking of how resilient and how vigilant you need to be in doing the things that you need to do to make sure that you protect yourself. That's a part of it. And for some of us, we start to just get into a place where we're feeling real mundane because we've been doing life the same way for so long. It comes easy. We know the job. We know what we have to do when we get in the evenings. We know what we have to do when we go to church. We know what we have to do for the association meeting. We know what we have to do in the backyard. We know our routine. And after a while, it can become very mundane, particularly if your routine involves something that you really don't necessarily want to do. Some of us have to deal with relationships that we really don't want to deal with. Some of us have occupations that are just that for us. They're occupations, they're not necessarily our real work. It's really a job for us. So, doing the job, we don't feel quite the connection that we would do if it were our life's work, so to speak. So, a coping mechanism is to just kind of follow life and just do it mundane, do it with your eyes closed, do it asleep so that you can get through it, so that you can make it to the next point. It's a survival technique. And a lot of us feel it, particularly once we get to this prime point in life where, we're making some decisions and we're trying to decide, do I really like the way things have been going? I know I don't like the way things have been going. Do I really want to go through changing? And all of the decisions around that and all of the decisions around, trying to make things work the way you really want them to work can really, really weigh you down. So you get to the point where you're just moving through life. You're just going through the motions. And let's face it, when you go through the motions, most of the time, you really don't enjoy life. And I have been talking about reinventing and getting to a point where life is more fulfilling. Walking around like a robot, feeling like you're going through the motions every day, living on autopilot often is just not a sign of being fulfilled in life. So, what are some of the signs? I'll give you a prime example. How many times have you gotten in the car first thing in the morning, gone to work, sat down at your desk, started to do your emails, and sit back and think, I don't really even remember getting in the car this morning. That's because you feel like your car could just go to that job by itself. It's been going for so long. Or how about you go to a meeting? It could be a neighborhood meeting. It could be something that you do on the weekends to support someone else. And you do it so frequently and so often. You go there and you set things up. You administer medication if you're taking care of someone elderly, or if you're taking care of anyone, taking care of your children. And you realize, you know what? I do this thing so often, I can do it with my eyes closed. And it's not that these people aren't fulfilling to you by any means, but sometimes it's the routine that can just wear you down and get you to the point where you really don't feel like there's any enjoyment in anything that you're doing. And that can often lead to depression. It can often lead to being despondent, and it definitely leads to moving through life like a robot. So, what are some of the things that we can do to prevent ourselves from getting in that rut and for pulling ourselves to the point where we can actually say, hey, you know what? My life is not mundane. I am going to live in the present. I can do this. Hold on one second. I'm trying to share my screen here. Share screen. I can do this, and I know that I can be effective in doing so. And that's what I want to do. So, what are the things that I need to do in order to be effective? So, hold on for just a second. Let me see if I can get to where I want to be here. All right, let's share again. And it's not quite working the way I want it to work. Sorry about that. I was hoping I would be able to pull up my slides here. I guess I haven't gotten that quite that savvy, huh? Maybe next time I'll be able to hold on. Oh, maybe. All right. So I don't know if anybody else is seeing that. I know you can't see it over there in so we're just going to stop sharing. How's that? And I'll just tell you what it is I was going to tell you, because we can't see it over there in Instagram land. So I'll just go ahead and tell you. So what are some of the things that you can do to be more present? One, celebrate your ability to use your adversity to your advantage, and that will help you to be more resilient. What do I mean by that? Whatever you feel is an adversity for you, flip that around and say, I can use this to my advantage. And that way, anything that you feel is adverse and not necessarily where you want it to be or how you want it to be, that thing can help you to be more resilient. The main thing that we need to focus on here so that we can stop living like a robot and get off of autopilot, we need to focus more on being present. We're not present anymore. All the time, we're constantly holding our phones. Even if we're sitting with company, it could be people that we even enjoy being with, but still we have a phone. Hey, Rhoda. Still, we have a phone in our hands, and we are not being present with the people that we need to be present with. Pay attention to your surroundings. That's what I'm talking about. For example, you're sitting there eating. We sit at our desks a lot of times and don't take lunch. Before we know it, we've finished our entire lunch and it's time to return to work, and we don't even remember what we ate. We need to learn to relish each bite of that sandwich, okay? Go outside. If you're downtown somewhere, admire the sculptures that you see as you walk to and fro during the day. Let the sunshine hit your face. Let the breeze hit your face while the weather is still nice. We're approaching fall. And unless you have allergies, which I deal with sometimes as fall starts to approach, but you enjoy being outside, okay? Listen closely to others. Make it a point to stop. to look somebody in the face as they're talking to you, so that number one, they'll know that you hear them, and they'll feel that it's important that they're in your presence. And secondly, so that you will actually hear what they're saying and not miss it. Again, coming out of that fog, coming out of autopilot, where you're just moving right along and everything else is moving beside you. You're getting your stuff done now, don't get me wrong, but you're missing a lot because of the frame of mind that you're in. Focus your attention on the present moment. Okay, we're all guilty of that. We're doing 50 things at one time, and still we manage to think about, well, what would happen next week if this didn't take place? We need to be more present. And by being more present and stop worrying about the future, God tells us to worry about today, right? Worry about this day. Be concerned. And he didn't even say worry. He just said, take care for what you have today and not worry about the things. A lot of that worry and that stress and that strain, again, brings about depression, brings about illnesses, because we know what stress can do to the body, right? So focus your attention on the present moment. Observe your thoughts and feelings without making judgment. Observe how you feel and stop being so hard on yourself about things. We're harder on ourselves most of the time than others are regarding whatever we feel is not right than others are about us. Let's just face facts. That's the way it is. Okay. Live mindfully. That's in everything that I'm saying right now. Slow down, savor your experiences. Something else you want to do? Touch base with your body. A lot of times we get up, and particularly if we don't like the way we look, if we've got an extra pound or two, which, yeah, we can all say that may be the case. I know there are many days, even now, where I have actually lost a few and things are better, but there are many a day when I just put on clothes, I glance in the mirror, because you don't want to see really how you look. We've got to change that. Be more mindful. Touch base with our body. Scan from head to toe to detect, for example, if you're feeling any stiffness even. That's a sure indication that, of course, you're bottling up tensions that you've probably bottled up over just kind of moving through life mindlessly and just going about your day-to-day stuff. Realize that you need to release that tension. If you're more aware of your body, more aware of the tension and stuff that builds up, that's going to help you to release some of that fogginess that you have as you move through your day. That fogginess that I talk about, we have as being robots, not making good decisions, of course, not being real mindful, not getting the things done that we need to get done. Stretch out. Take 15 minutes to stretch. Today, for our wellness at work, I talked about the fact that, you can stick some weights under your desk, a couple pound weights, and a couple times during the day, just work your muscles so that your body will awaken and feel alive, and you won't get in that pandemic predicament, that pandemic slump, as I call it. Embrace your feelings, guys. Yeah, they're there. Try not to discount them. Try not to beat up on yourself if you feel bad about something and let that thing just get you fully depressed, where you may have been sad before, but you're further beating yourself up because you're telling yourself you shouldn't feel this way. This is something that happens a lot with Christians. Christians feel that they shouldn't feel bad about things. They shouldn't be depressed. And then what does that do? That makes you all the more depressed, right? I know it will with me. I know it does with me. I used to beat myself up about that all the time. And yeah, I still struggle with it. I do still struggle with beating up on myself, not so much about being saved and beating up on myself, because I know that Christians do get depressed also. Face your challenges and your disappointments head on. Don't try to say that they didn't happen. Admit that they happened and find a way to move forward. Embrace the issues and try to move with them instead of trying to fall back into a slump and sitting in that valley forever. Sitting there, sometimes a robot that doesn't even want to work, a robot that can't find its way to work. Even a robot needs some oil every now and then, y'all. Come on. You think about the Wizard of Oz, and think about the Tin Man where he says, slide some oil to me. Even tin and iron needs some oil sometimes. Awaken yourself. Do things to awaken yourself. Okay? So that's it. Be more present. Be more mindful. Commit to yourself that you are going to live for this moment and not be so concerned about what could happen next week or what didn't happen last week. And if there is a situation that you need to change, then your job is to work on changing that and not to dwell and fall into an abyss where life is just robotic for you, where you go on autopilot and you're letting life drive you instead of you driving life. Okay? That's it. I hope that was helpful, y'all. Again, I have programs coming up. One's going to be released tonight, actually, about 8 o'clock. Something should be coming up about that. There are some of us who need to get back to ourselves. We need to look at ourselves and say, yeah, I'm taking time for me. Finally, me. It's coming. And I'm going to tell you more about that tomorrow. So make sure that you stay close to my social media feeds. I'm over on Instagram at Alethea A. Tucker and at Jolie's Enterprises. Go to my website and fill out the contact form so that you can get on my newsletter list that comes out every week. They find out things a little before my social media group does. Okay? So do that. And as I leave, know that I've thought of you this week and I'm constantly praying so that I'm telling you the right things and giving you the stuff that y'all need. And know that I pray and hope. And I know that if you really focus on it, you can go out there, live boldly and authentically as yourself, because who better to be you than you? And who has the value that you have other than you? I can't think of another person. So go out there being you, live boldly and confidently as yourself, valuing what you can do, valuing what you can bring to the world, make a difference and be well. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.